Let's go.
It's Hot Talk with Jill Tracey. Always live. Always local. Always entertaining and educating South Florida. Celebrating over 30 years. Hot Talk continues to be the pulse of South Florida. Relevant, engaging, informative. Now, here's your host, Jill Tracey.
We are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an act, but an habit. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. That is Aristotle. And good evening, South Florida. I am Jill Tracey. Thank you so much for joining us for Hot Talk, South Florida's #1 community affairs show. Each and every Sunday night from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. we highlight the achievements and discuss the challenges of our community with you and an engaging panel of guests. And I ask you, as always, to have a seat. Perhaps you'll have a cocktail and you'll join the conversation at 888-550-9105. My jewels tonight, indeed, are from Aristotle, the Greek prophet. And it was actually on an email signature line of one of my guests tonight. And I thought it's so appropriate because we are indeed always creatures of habit. No matter how you try to get away from who you are, it always seems to come back, chasing you in the middle of the night. So is the truth. And oddly enough, we're living in a time right now where the truth is subjective. It's what you think it is at the moment. But in fact, facts are facts are facts are facts. So tonight, I have an illustrious panel of guests who are doing what I like to think of. I think that people that work with children and people that work with the elderly are doing God's work. Because at that moment in time that you're interacting with them, they really have nothing to offer you, right? There's nothing they can give you but maybe help you get some more wisdom, help you see life in a different way, but in fact, you are in service to them. And when this story started to percolate, I gotta go find that song, Percolator, for the break at 50. When this story started to percolate, I thought, wow, this is really deep, because it seems that all hands on deck are really invested in helping students at Carroll City High School matriculate and be the best that they can be. But those old habits for some people keep getting in the way. And the issues that are surrounding the declining enrollment and so many other factors that are societal, are based around the census, call it what you will. But at the core, it is having a community that supports you, the work you do, the way you serve, that helps you help those most vulnerable. Our children and the elderly. All of which combine, all of these stories combine in the beautiful city of Carroll City. Now, some of you all know Carroll City as Miami Gardens, but indeed they are two slightly different things. Like, I thought that Opelika was Carroll City when I got here to go to Flomo, but I was quickly informed that no, these are all not the same things, Missy. So tonight, my guest, two of them, all of them are alumni of Carroll City High School. So I'd like to start with my dear friend Quentin Latham. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. And yourself, Miss Jill, how are you?
Blessed and highly favored. Thank you very much. Many of you all will know Quentin as Funky Diney. Man!
hair is laid like
the truth.
community activist.
You got your community
This
activist
is my
wig on
community
tonight.
activist bang I got on tonight, baby.
Oh, you know what? We were just sitting in production a minute ago, and I thought, wow, look at this full circle. When I came back to Miami to take care of my mom, and I wasn't working, and I reached out to James T, and I said, listen, I just need to, be rehearsing my chops. I can't just, be out like this. And I told him I wanted to do a podcast. And he made it happen for me. And one of the first people I wanted on my podcast was this funky Dineva that I was hearing and seeing on YouTube. And come to find out that you were from Miami, you knew who I was. It was amazing. And this was right before you really started to blossom.
Yep.
And then when we were sitting in production, I was like, look at God.
Full circle moment.
Baby, totally full circle moment. So, and I did not know that you were Carroll City alum.
I was a Carroll City alum. Carroll City born and bred, baby.
Yes, indeed. Carroll City Chiefs. Okay, so now what is the delineator between Carroll City, Liberty City, Carroll City, Miami Gardens, and Opa-locka? Like, where do they cross?
So Carroll City stops at the airport.
Okay.
That makes sense. And Miami Gardens is a term that is used freely by people who just are not from the area. If you are born and bred chief, and you got roots at Carroll City Senior High School, the flea market, the Checkers, Consumers Meat, then this whole thing, if you know about a meat plan from Consumers on 22nd and 27th and 183rd, this is not Miami Gardens. This is Carroll City, baby.
Okay. All right, so then
Miami Garden stuff is political. That's technical.
You know what?
You see what I'm saying? But if you were born and bred from the area and you bleed orange and black, this thing that they call Miami Gardens is Carroll City.
Thank you. Well, I want my Jasmine Garden ticket, so I ain't going to say about them. I don't have a dog in that fight. Hey, Oliver. Okay, so, and next to you is a lovely young lady who I just met recently, thanks to Quentin. And you all were classmates.
Correct.
Okay.
All of us were.
Oh, all of you all were, okay, were classmates. And now we're missing somebody because Adrian was supposed to be here. So let me introduce Fatima. Fatima, how do I pronounce your last name, darling?
Albergati.
Albergati. It sounds almost Italian.
It is.
There you go. So now, Fatima, you will share with everybody your... We'll just say your dog in this fight right now. So you are a former student and alumni of Carroll City.
Yes, I'm a graduate of the class of 1998 from Miami Carroll City Senior High, and I am currently the alumni president for Carroll City Senior High Alumni Association. All
right. And you're also a counselor and grant writer with a decade of experience in education. She's a recent recipient of the City of Miami Gardens Women's Expo Award for her dedication to service to the community. She's currently serves as a role model for the mentoring college women studying to become educators by promoting service learning projects with her mentees, students, and other young women in the community, while being an advocate for educational service events that will add value to the African American community.
Correct.
Very, very good. Thank you very much for coming. And we're missing Adrian, who couldn't be here, and God love her, but I don't do phoners for anybody. Barbara Jordan stopped me from doing, for everybody who always says, why don't you do, Barbara Jordan stopped me from doing phoners because I did one. I said, it's really hard when you have a panel of people in the room to still have the person on the phone as part of that panel. And it happened, and I forgot her, and I came back to a dial tone. And I was horrified. Ms. Barbara Jordan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There was like not a thing I could say, but I was like, see, this is why I told you that we can't do phoners. But so, Adrian, we wish you were here, but perhaps maybe you'll come back at another time. But in your place is the lovely Kiki Shepard.
Hello, Kiki
How are you?
I am wonderful. Can't complain.
So everybody thinks that you know what? I have my Chiefs orange too. Look at that.
You got your orange
Real festive.
So,
Let us find out.
Okay, and so you are not of the celebrity Kiki. When Quentin called me and said Kiki Shepard is coming, I was like, I had no idea that she went to Carroll City. How cool is that?
I love the name recognition. I love
okay.
It. Mm-hmm.
So now tell us, I don't have you in my script, so tell me, where you from, where you from, what you do in the world right now?
Well, I am also a Miami Carroll City alumni, graduated in the class of 1998, and I currently serve as the communications secretary for the Alumni Association officially, and I'm just a good old troublemaker. I'm a professional feather ruffler. That's what I do.
Let's get messy right out the
Who
door.
actually has a child at Carroll City right now, which is worth mentioning, and that was one of the main reasons why we wanted to bring her, because she has a dual capacity in this situation, one being an alumni, another being a concerned parent. Of all the mess that's going on down at Carroll City.
At Carroll City. All right, and we are also live on Facebook on several locations. We're on the Hot 105 Facebook page, so you can, if you go over there now, you'll see all of us on screen. If you have a question, you can put it in, and we can talk to you, and your little picture will come up and everything. So go on the Hot 105 Facebook page or Quentin's Funky Dineva YouTube page. If you're on YouTube, you can do that as well. And I think that's it. Yeah, there's no need. Listen, we got Funky Dineva's YouTube page. No need to go on mine. There are like 22 people on my YouTube page. But you have inspired me to get into YouTube in 2020.
There
so
it is.
I definitely will. Okay, the phone is ringing already. So let's just start there right quick. Hi, welcome to Hot Talk. Who's this? Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Yes, I want to talk to.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Parent.
Yes. So you are a parent at Carroll City? You have children at Carroll City High School. Girl, turn your radio down. Okay, I'm gonna put you on hold. Okay, I'm gonna put you on hold. So you gotta turn your radio down. You'll be able to hear us through the phone, because otherwise you get like that feedback thing. So you don't hear what I'm saying until maybe 15 seconds after. So, okay, but hold on. We're going to come back to you. All right, so let's go to the beginning, right? I have a friend who has children also at Carroll City High School, and was telling me something about the rumor of a shooter being at Carroll City, and they did not know. They found out, through the grapevine or some other way, not the way they expected to. And so we had a long conversation and this, that, and the other. I really didn't make any action on it. And then I talked to Quentin, and you were telling me it is some mess going on over there at Carroll City. And I was like, it's such a beautiful school. I see it all the time when I lead a hairdresser. Shouts out to Wise Choice. And I was like, well, tell me about it. And so he said, well, I want to put you in touch with Fatima. And so Fatima, let's start at the beginning. Now, you are president of the Carroll City Senior High Alumni Association.
Correct.
And it was organized, why? Explain to people what an alumni association is first.
Sure. The Alumni Association, we organized back in 2015. And Carroll City Senior High is about 56 years old, and we've never really had an official alumni association.
Gotcha.
We've seen Northwestern alumni in action, Central's alumni, and other schools alumni, very powerful. And we noticed that we needed some advocacy for Carroll City as well. So we began the Alumni Association in 2015. So for the past 4 years, we've been very involved in the school, advocating for the academic progression, advocating for the students, and to preserve the pride and tradition at Carroll City Senior High for the past 4 years.
Okay.
So we're there to support the school overall, students, teachers, parents, gathering the alumni. Holistically, we're there to support the school.
Okay, and so you have a page on Facebook that has become a crime scene of messiness.
Some would say.
Some would say.
Yes.
There are bodies littered all over that Facebook page. So now share with me your intent for starting that Facebook page and, how it has become to be a little notorious.
Well, the Facebook page started when the association started back in 2015. And due to the recent events that have been going on with Carroll City, as it regards to the lack of programs we've been trying to discuss and the low enrollment, we've been trying to advocate and stick to what was called the re-envisioning plan that was set in place for Carroll City. So a lot.
Now this I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want people to be able to follow along.
Okay.
So the re-envisioning plan.
So we have to go back a little bit and give some history. So Carroll City, between 2015-2016 school year, Carroll City received a D letter grade.
Okay.
And then the next year, 2016-17, they received another D. So they received 2 consecutive Ds in a row. And due to the low grades, that triggered a planning year for school improvement, which consisted of 2 or 3 years of implementing a turnaround plan. Therefore, the re-envisioning plan had begun. Now, the re-envisioning plan was not just a plan on paper, but it was a 6-month process.
Okay, so let me stop you there. So has this plan been enacted?
No.
Okay. So when you met with, so I'm going to jump a little and we're going to come back.
Sure.
So you guys met with Steve Gallen about this revisioning plan.
Right.
And several other stakeholders in the community. Is that correct?
Correct.
So there were how many, were there a lot of different organizations? Were they all school related?
Well,
were these or other organizations gathered?
Okay, so the re-envisioning plan, we met in May of 2018. Steve Gallen wasn't really at that meeting. It was the school district personnel who actually gathered all of us there.
Okay.
They gathered stakeholders, educators, people from FIU, different people in the community, pastors, people who had invested interest in the community.
Okay.
So it was an initiative that was led by the school district. It was 3 days of a workshop, and the school district had very good intentions, and we believe that they were very genuine in their plan in getting us together for this re-envisioning plan. So day 1, it started out with about 40 people.
Okay.
Day 2, it dwindled down to about 20 people, and by day 3, it was about maybe 10, 11 people with the re-envisioning plan. So at that moment with the re-envisioning plan, we focused on creating a plan to revive Carroll City. They wanted to hear the information from the community.
The city in total or just the school?
The school, Reviving Carroll City.
I was going to say, well, that's a whole other thing.
Gardens now. The city is Miami Gardens.
Right.
When we say Carroll City, we're speaking of the school. So the plan was to sit and brainstorm with these different professionals and different stakeholders in the community to come up with a plan. Now, we have 4 components that we focused on. One was student interest and opportunity. The second component was academic programs and activities. Third component was community engagement and involvement. And the last component was safety and well-being.
Okay.
So that is what the plan centered around. So with that being said, we created a plan that we could help rebuild the pride, the student momentum, the academic programs to help drive students back into Carroll City.
Right. Okay. And the thought among alumni and others that were working with you is that, enrollment was going down because so many programs were being killed.
Correct.
And, people were moving out of the area or whatever else. There were several programs you mentioned to me, cosmetology, and it was
auto body, mechanic, wood shop classes, things that
were trade-like.
Right.
That many in our community, were involved in and
nursing program,
construction.
And I think, Jill, it's also worth mentioning that, we just got a new school at Carroll City. It's an $80 million building, which now has enrollment of 912 students. An entire wing of an $80 million building has been shut down and is not being utilized because there are not enough students to occupy
that whole
the
building.
school.
So what at its capacity, what was the highest enrollment? Or what is your what is it?
Occupancy?
3,000.
What is the occupancy
right?
rate?
3,000.
Okay.
It's around 3,000.
So at its highest, you would say that that's something we would have to find out.
Because the building right now is currently at 32% occupancy.
It's currently at 32.
Currently
at
900.
So you
which
can kind of
is
do the
very
math on that
alarming
one.
when you start talking about $80 million
Right.
and 30% occupancy. That is problematic just from a financial perspective. I'm a numbers person. My background is accounting.
Right.
That for me, it says that the school is not even operational functionally financially. with
Right.
921 students in an $80 million state-of-the-art building.
So is that how you came to get involved, Quentin?
Most
you
definitely.
all.
I was sitting on Facebook minding my business like I always do, and I saw a post that enrollment of 921 students. And I just remember when I graduated from Carroll City in 2001, we had a senior class of almost 700 students. So I was like, I put a post and I said, well, what's going on over at Carroll City is the issue that, the demographics of the neighborhood have changed and there are no more kids in the neighborhood to go to the schools. And then that's when I started digging and the Fatimas and the Kikis of the world started filling me in on what's going on. And the reality of the situation is it's not that we don't have kids who want to go to Carroll City. There is a whole lot of mess going on in Carroll City in terms of the administration and the powers that be that are preventing our kids from wanting to attend that school, or have our parents pulling our kids out of that school at rapid pace because the kids are not necessarily getting what they need. And the community has lost faith in Carroll City and the current regime.
Right. And on that note, I think we should take a break. I'll be right back after this break. This is Hot Talk. I am Jill Tracey on Hot 105.
Let's go. It's Hot Talk with Jill Tracey.
Okay, how did that?
Always local. Always
Okay, just listen to this again.
South Florida, celebrating over 30 years. Hot Talk continues to be the pulse of South Florida. Relevant, engaging, informative. Now, here's your host, Jill Tracey. Let's go. It's Hot Talk with Jill Tracey. Always live. Always local. Always entertaining and educating South Florida. Celebrating over 30 years. Hot Talk continues to be the pulse of South Florida. Engage your informative. As we present, here's your host, Jill Tracey. An R&B tour with Jagged Edge.
I must confess. Come on. Let's get married.
Avant. Genuine. Kelly Price and Silk. On Saturday, February 8th, coming to the historic James L. Knight Center in the Magic City. Listen longer and listen more all this week to win tickets for you and your boo at 7-911-246-79 and 11. Or download our free Hot 105 app by texting the keyword Hot 105 app to 28367. Do it now for more chances to win. Always more at hot105fm.com. The pre-Valentine's Love and R&B Tour is brought to you by Young Fly Entertainment and your station for 15 minutes of today's R&B and old school every hour. Hot 105.
Quitting tobacco isn't easy. In all honesty, it's a very hard thing to do. The good news is, Tobacco Free Florida is here to help you quit your way by offering the free support and tools you'll need to succeed. Tobacco Free Florida's AHEC cessation program offers Group Quit. Found in every county in Florida, these free sessions will provide you with face-to-face support and guidance by a trained specialist in a group setting. You aren't alone, and our Group Quit sessions can offer you the support you've needed all along. You may also qualify for free nicotine replacement therapy, like patches, lozenges, or gum. It doesn't matter how many times you've tried to quit, now is your time to succeed. The time is now to quit your way. So give us a call at 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW to double your chances of success. Ask about free nicotine replacement options to help you quit today. This is your start to a tobacco-free life. No judgments, just help.
Car crash, slip or fall, call Freeman Injury Law. 800-561-7777. Car crash, slip or fall, call Freeman Injury Law. 800-561-7777.
Injured in an accident? Know your rights. Before you call the insurance company,
Call Freeman Injury Law. They have a team of attorneys dedicated to fighting for your rights.
after an accident, they got a client $325,000.
They got another client, $1.5 million. That's real money.
The consultation is free. You pay no costs or fees unless they win money for you.
Real answers, real results, real money, real talk.
Car crash, slip or fall, call Freeman Injury Law. 800-561-7777.
800-561-7777. 800-561-7777. Officers Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County.
Hot 105 families celebrate the holidays and the new year with a night of classic R&B and soul for the 70s New Year Soul Explosion, featuring 3 legendary groups: Russell Tompkins Jr., the New Stylistics, the Shy-Lights, and Harold Melvin's Blue Notes at the Broward Center, Saturday, December 28th. Win free tickets. Go to hot105fm.com for your chance to win.
Let's say you have male impotence, or maybe you suffer from PE and can't satisfy your partner. If you have either or both of these embarrassing conditions, Preferred Men's Medical Center has the solution. Meet Dr. Brown, a specialist in men's health.
If you're experiencing ED or PE, Preferred Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications designed just for you. There's no pain and no surgery. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues, not a problem. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, Preferred Men's Medical Center has patients lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. You'll see results on your first visit guaranteed, or your first visit is free. And best of all, it's affordable.
For a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians, call 954-289-3139. Visit, or there's no charge for your consult. Call Preferred Men's Medical Center now at 954-289-3139. That's 954-289-3139.
Well, it's been a great ride. 25 years of the Tom Jordan Morning Show. In syndication, I want to thank my partner, David Cantor, for putting the deals together that allowed me to do this fantastic ride. Thank you, partner. Thank you, David Cantor. My sons, the only job they've ever had since college was working on the show and working for the foundation. Thank you, Killer and Thriller. Thank you, Big Heads. I never say goodbye at the end of the show because it's one continuous party. But this will be the first time I'll say the Fly Jock has landed.
Yes, indeed. And welcome back to Hot Talk. 8855-09-105. We had some seriously technical difficulties on that break. So you were probably hearing 3 or 4 different things happening at one time. So I apologize for that. And as soon as I can find out where it came from, but it did stop, didn't it? Right? It stopped. Okay. We're good. All right. So welcome back. 888-550-9105 is the number. I'll be taking calls. Just hold on. Just hold on, like I was giving away some tickets to the R&B Valentine's Day Jam. And I will get to you because the phone lines are lit. But I want to set this up again, and then we'll come to the phone. So tonight's show is, what's really happening. What is the real lies of Carroll City High School and what is really happening over there. Now, it came to my awareness, as it did several others, that there is a rift between the Alumni Association and the administration of Carroll City High School. Everybody kind of points to something different as to why there is no cohesion there, why alumni feels one way and the administrators feel another way, and then the Alumni Association created a Facebook page, which is, what exactly is your Facebook page? Because you can go on their Facebook page and follow along on the show. So what is your Facebook page?
It is the official Miami Carroll City Alumni Association. So that's the official Miami Carroll City Alumni Association.
Okay, and in full transparency, now you all are the administrators of the site. However, it is open. So anybody, do you screen your messages, or can anyone just go on and leave a message?
Typically anyone can go on and leave a message, but we also go through and we try to rake it with a fine-tooth comb for anything that is disrespectful or demeaning, and we'll definitely go in and erase those kind of messages.
Okay. And so this all kind of brouhaha started to happen behind some comments that were on that page, specifically some addressing the principal, Adrena Freeman, and her wig. And as all good reality squabbles will happen.
Jill, make a correction. Have Adrena Williams. Yeah.
And as all good squabbles will happen, it will be over something. Something in somebody's wig, bag, and or shoes. So the tone left, and when I kind of picked up and got involved in this, the tone was kind of like, wow, this is, the Alumni Association is just being shady baby to the new principal and, the administration and the whole thing. And by the way, Eric McDuffie, you know what? Sidebar right quick. Quentin, Eric McDuffie just texted and said, if he's a, quote, numbers guy, the math is simple. 900 plus 32 equals 213 students.
It was not 932. It was 900.
900 divided by 32 is 28.
Well,
whatever.
Right.
I just thought I'd share.
Fact of the matter is, it's only 900 and something students in an $80 million building, Mr. Fact Checker.
Okay. Here comes the fact checker. You gotta love it. Only on Hot Talk. Okay, so and so there are several other things among the alumni you were concerned about the drop in the enrollment in the school, the idea that many students, because of school choice now, aren't going to Carroll City. They're going to other schools, and that the
hiring practices.
Well, and that the administration was doing nothing about that, and then the hiring practices,
and then also too the transfer out of staple teachers who had been there for over 20-something plus years is also a major concern. And in those transfers, and Kiki can speak to this, her child was in one of those physics classes. Substitutes were subsequently brought in and watched over. Kiki, you can tell the story better.
Well, in actuality, when the physics teacher was removed, that the topic that I actually personally went to the school board to talk about.
The school board meaning you went downtown?
The school board, downtown. School board meeting on a Wednesday, stood downtown, and I expressed my concern with the moving of particular teachers. Of course, we couldn't get into names, but it was still essential teachers that I felt should not have been moved. As Quentin said, my daughter was in a physics honors 1 class, and this is her senior year. And anyone who has gone to a university or anyone that's applying to college, as far as scholarships are concerned, they're looking for those advanced classes.
Right.
Those advanced classes are the classes that actually set you apart. So these teachers were moved with 0 replacement. And so instead of getting another qualified teacher in place to pick up that physics 1 honors, the class was just removed altogether from the school. And my daughter she wasn't transferred into barbering. She was actually transferred into culinary arts. From physics honors to culinary arts.
Oh, and what was the explanation? Okay, I don't understand that.
We didn't either.
There was no explanation. I think that's a large part of the problem that the Alumni Association is having, is that there seems to be no system of checks and balances. And whenever somebody poses a tough question, case in point, why you've moved a physics teacher who's had over 20 years of tenure at this school, why you removed them, the answer that you're getting is basically because I can, or we're being pacified and saying that these decisions are coming from the district or coming from over this place, or the egos have gotten so involved now. People are basically saying because I can and don't question me.
Okay, and so when you say people, who are we talking about? I'm sorry, y'all. That's not the mic flag.
So I know that there's a lot of questions that have been posed, and Fatima can better speak to this, by the Alumni Association, and they've been diverted to the district. And the question that I have is, who is the district? What is the district? Does the district have...
But who diverted the... Okay, Fatima. All right. So when you ask these questions, who are you talking to?
Well, I'm talking to the principal, who basically stated that the higher-ups or the region are the ones who are making these decisions. So everyone sort of seems to shift the blame on what's going on and pointing the fingers. Then someone from the region will say, well, no, that was the principal's decision. So there's no definitive answer
about why these programs are gone, why these teachers have been moved.
And then some students were removed from the physics class to barbering class.
From physics to barbering
classes, right.
And there was... Well, that was it, and you just left it at that. Like, my child was in physics, and now they're in barbering class to get the same credits to graduate, but my kid is going into a science major in college, and that was it. There was nothing else after that.
The only other option was virtual school. So they did give the option of Florida virtual school, and I don't know about anyone else, but I took physics in college, and there is no way there is no way that I would have been successful with strictly virtual school. And there was no way.
Jill, I think it's worth mentioning that the community, via the alumni page and other outlets, have voiced a lot of concerns about the current principal just not having any faith in her, and many of us in the community
not having any faith in her
ability to help get the school back on track, simply because of the evasiveness, the lack of answering questions, and just questionable hiring practices and the transferring out of these staple teachers. And many of us in the community,
so that's the core issue for you guys.
Are left feeling like part of the reason why you transfer out 3 teachers who have over 20 years of tenure is because they have more influence in the school and in the community than you do, and you're feeling some type of way considering the fact that you are under the gun right now, because there's no reason why you transfer. What better way to get through to a student than to say, what's your last name? I know your mama. I taught your mama. In 20 years, 20 plus years, this teacher hasn't managed to get in trouble. Now, all of a sudden, you come along and they need to be transferred out, and you provide no explanation as to why it doesn't make sense.
Do any of these teachers go down to the school board? Do they put in paperwork saying, I feel like I was removed unceremoniously and without cause? Did any of them do any of that?
Well, yes, it had to be handled through the union with those teachers, and they had to take it up with the union. But from our understanding, that is the principal's discretion, whether she can remove or hire people. It is her discretion.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so let me go to Facebook, because there are a lot of people on Facebook. Tina DeSeal, she says there has to be more to this story. Okay, and I believe, Tina, I'm with you. There's definitely something that we are missing as a part of the story. Thank you for that. Joni Bethune says, right, how are the administrators still there? Okay, well, because I don't really see any way that they should have been removed yet. Okay, King Ares says, Carletta Lawrence, I was thinking the same thing. They have had the chance to fix it, but note the pressure is about to fix it for them. Okay, all right. So, and Libby Willis Ford says, I went to the school several times to see an academic advisor, and she was never there. Spoke with the principal, still waiting for her to call back. My daughter is now a freshman in college.
Right.
Wow.
Right. And see, Jill, I think something that's also worth mentioning is the fact that the community, the Alumni Association, and everyone at all had some trust in the school and what was going on when they brought them all together to do this re-envisioning plan.
Right.
Somewhere between this new principal getting hired and Dr. Steve Gallen being elected into office, the re-envisioning plan just completely disappeared. And when people inquire as to what we're going to go on with that, they were told that the re-envisioning plan was aspirational. Now, I refuse to believe that the school board would hire outside consultants, spend 3 days of people's time, and spend thousands of dollars having people come up with a plan if it was just aspirational. So the question then becomes...
sounds like the state of Black Miami.
The question then becomes, why was the plan abandoned, and who benefits from things the way they are currently?
Okay, let's say that one more time.
Why was the plan abandoned? Because if we had a plan that had community buy-in, that the county or the district, whomever the district is, seemed to be on board with, then why was this plan abandoned? And why is it that when this plan is brought up in public forums, on the Facebook page, or in meetings, it causes so much contention for people like Dr. Steve Gallen?
Right. Okay. And I invited Dr. Steve Gallen onto the show. He declined to be a part of the conversation. However, he did provide me with the notes from your December 12th meeting. And now that's the most recent. And so this all precipitated the December 12th meeting. Okay.
Right. So we weren't getting any answers.
Callers were coming.
About the re-envisioning. So we did arrange to have a meeting with the school board representative. And that happened on the 12th. Now, we did spend about 3 hours in the meeting, and we asked a lot of questions. But unfortunately, when we left the meeting, we felt that we still didn't get the answers that we needed. And especially when it came to the re-envisioning plan, because we were told, do not bring up the re-envisioning plan again. Those are just aspirations.
Right. Well, he said that was never it was never a plan of action. Mm-hmm. It was just you all were brainstorming, basically.
So what happened was that we brainstormed these ideas, and the community, again, spent 3 days of their valuable time coming up with this plan. Mm-hmm. So the idea was the district did say that we're going to take your ideas and your plan, and we're going to take it back to the district. We're going to sit, and we're going to compile a plan. We're going to take some of your suggestions. We're going to take our suggestions, and we're going to give you guys a plan of implementation that we are going to roll out for Carroll City. That has not happened yet.
Okay. Right. Hold that right there. Hi, welcome to Hot Talk. Who's this?
Hello.
Hi, who's this?
Hi. I would like to speak to you all in regards to the matter of Carroll City. Hi.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. You had a comment?
Okay. I'm speaking on behalf of the bad experience that I had with Mrs. Williams.
Okay.
We all know that respect is due to adults. And my experience was last year my daughter was a senior. And when attacked at the school, the first thing that Ms. Williams came up to, not even trying to get to the bottom of the resolution, was she needs to be expelled.
Your daughter?
Now, my daughter, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the midst of me trying to set up several meetings with her, she declined. However, she had a meeting with the girls, my daughter, her friends, because, as they were labeled by her, they're the cancers of the school.
Okay.
Her exact words. Now, the way she talked to these kids would not be a way that you would want these kids to talk to you. She never knew that these kids were recording her. They told their parents word for word everything she said. She denied everything until she was told inside of a senior meeting that she was recorded. Her whole demeanor changed.
Do these recordings still exist?
Yes.
Okay. My email address is, you can send them right now. You know what I mean? Really. Do you have, does she have, hold on. Because that is a huge, don't go anywhere, sweetheart. That's a big piece of what you all are bringing to the table, is that the reason why there's so much division is because no one can have a civil conversation. None of you all have been able to have a civil discourse with the principal.
And it seems to be a general displeasure with the principal. And so quite naturally, the next thing that you do is go up to her boss. But when that person seems to be protecting them and shielding them, as an alumni association and as members of the community, there's nothing left to do except get upset and scream and shout because you're not being heard.
Well, you could go. I mean, there is another step to go up, but I digress on that one. So you said a few things there, and one of the things, since this went out, there were several calls. And so many of them said that you are the only ones who have problems with the principal. Right. Everybody else does not have this issue with the principal. However, there is someone that just called that has an issue with the principal. But I do want to go. Let me, sweetheart, and hold on, people online. I'm coming to you. I want to go back to these topics, right? Because the meeting starts, and these are the questions that you were asked, yes, at the meeting. What is the role of the Alumni Association?
The questions at the meeting?
Yes.
No, that wasn't a question at the meeting.
So when you all met, what was the premise of that meeting?
The premises were basically we had an agenda of some questions that we had to ask. One of our questions involved the school safety incident when the student brought in the gun. Okay. And what happened with that situation. But we were told he wasn't able to discuss that because it was pending an investigation currently right now. So we didn't really get anywhere with that conversation. And then we focused on the re-envisioning. So that was really the premises of our conversation. Of that
conversation at that meeting. Okay.
Also, on the latter part of the meeting, some people did discuss the issues that they were having with the principal.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So what I want to do now is take the call. We're going to take these calls, and then when we come back on the other side at midnight, then we will go like chapter and verse by this piece. Okay. Hi. Welcome to Hot Talk. Who's this?
It's Akia Greer.
Hi. How are you? You had a comment?
Yes, I have a son that attends Carroll City. He's in the 10th grade. And he was in honors, and they didn't have any teachers. Even my daughter graduated this year. She didn't have any teachers leading up to her graduation. I'm trying to meet with Adrena. It's nothing but drama with her. Came October.
When you say drama, what do you mean? Have you met with her and you felt unwelcome?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you felt like she was not responsive to your needs when you met with her.
Correct, because my daughter was 10%. I mean, in the top 10 of her class. And she was in a National Honor Society program. She was in the law program, the law magnet program, everything. But she didn't have a teacher. She had substitutes for the whole 12th grade year.
Wow. Okay.
And when you bring it up to her, she have an issue or say that she's going to fix it, and it never gets fixed.
Okay.
So my son, he plays on the team also. And came October, she told me that at one of the games that my son got into it, one of the other kids on the other side of the team, and this was the lie she told me. And she said that he was going to be suspended from practice, which was 5 days. I said, okay, well, was he kicked from the game or was he kicked off the field? She told me no. So I said, well, how the principal from the other school emailed you on a Saturday pertaining to that? She said, yeah, well, the district told me, well, she said the region told her to suspend him from practice. So I contacted the region.
Okay.
The region told me they didn't have they didn't even know what I was talking about. And that same day that this took place, not even an hour later, my son was thrown up against the lockers. He was put in handcuffs. And she told them that he had a gun, that he was pointing out as having a gun.
Oh, so it was your son?
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, okay.
When she said that he had a gun, no one contacted me, not the school police, not her, and I spoke to her an hour before this took place. So if you felt that he had a gun, why you didn't tell me this on the phone?
He wasn't the kid with the gun.
But
he was not the kid with the gun. Okay. Well.
No, not with the gun. No. She accused him of having the gun.
So I'm understanding this that you. I'm sorry. What's your name again?
Zakia Greer.
Zakia. Okay, Zakia. I'm understanding that the school accused your son of having the gun, but in fact, it was not him.
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. And so, what were the consequences for your son behind that?
There was. She got in his face when he was in handcuffs and said, "You called your mama on me."
Is there
just because he was? Yeah.
I feel like I need videotape of everything. Really?
So in essence, what she's saying is the whole gun incident was retaliatory.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So by the time I got off of work, I went to the school the next day because it was closed. I was calling, but I didn't hear from nobody. When I got to the school the next day, she was nowhere in sight.
Have you spoken to her since?
She called me because the region reached out to me after the police said, we dropped the bomb. I said, no, they said they dropped the ball. I said, no, y'all dropped the bomb because y'all are trigger happy. And if my child would have moved or anything,
he'd be dead.
He could have been dead. And he's 15, he's 60. And if you knew that he wasn't into that altercation that was supposed to have took place, why would you sit here and point him out saying that he had a gun?
And was
the
there
police
any answer to that?
That he was identified. Right. She couldn't answer me. She told me that the police identified my son. The police told me that my son was identified from wearing all black with white sneakers. That's the whole school. I told the police officer he need to get the searching.
Well, from what I saw, the student that they thought it was had on red shoes.
I think that's two separate incidents.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. She was mad because she contacted me about being suspended for the week off the football team.
Oh my God! Somebody said she thinks she's Joe Clark. Oh my God. Okay.
So when I went to the school. I reached out to the alumni association. I reached out to the alumni association. They awesome. They continued right into it. and we went down to the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And I spoke at the meeting. Dr. Gallen brushed me off and said, that's a school, that's the police problem. No, it's not the police problem. It was her problem because she's the one that identified him as having the gun.
Mm-hmm. All right. Hold that thought. Stay right there. And those of you who are also holding or waiting to be picked up, hang on. I'm going to get to you. We got to take a break right here, and we'll be back on the other side. I am Jill Tracy, and this is Hot Talk on Hot 105.
Car accident? Call me, Hurt Bert, 1-800-671-HURT.
Slip and fall? Workers' comp claim?
Call me, Hurt Bert, 1-800-671-HURT.
24 hours a day?
Call me, Hurt Bert, 1-800-671-HURT.
Path offers lawyer referral and medical services.
Big mattress savings at American Freight with savings up to 58% off MSRP. Low price match guarantee. We will not be undersold. Mattress sets from only $49 each piece. Save up to 36% on Sealy mattress sets. 3-piece bedroom collections from $198. Choose from 12 mattress sets from $199 each piece. Take it home today for $50 with low easy payments. Go to AmericanFreight.com/50 for details. Free layaway same-day delivery ends December 31st. At American Freight in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Hollywood.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 5, do not ignore your injuries. Right after an accident, most people don't realize how bad their injuries are. Injuries can get worse over time. Early medical treatment is crucial. Beware of clinics that treat only your neck and back. What about your knees, shoulders, head, and other injuries? Come see us. We'll talk about all your injuries and get you the compensation you deserve. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Offices in Miami, Broward, and throughout Florida.
It's the Miami Festival of Laughs, January 18th in the James L. Knight Center with Mike Epps.
Yeah, Donald Trump, they said he called Obama and said, I did a walkthrough, you left your wave cap in the bathroom. Who's hiding flaming Cheetos in the refrigerator? It's a German Shepherd tied up on the side of the house.
The comedy of Gary Owen.
My wife's black for real, though. Like, she's black. Dad was in the Black Panthers. I'm going all the way black. Like, we had our kids first, and then we got married. Yes, got to do it right. There's a few white people didn't get that joke.
Funny man, Tony Rock.
When we was a kid growing up, we didn't have, like, home insurance. My father used to say, listen, don't you tell nobody we don't have health insurance. We had fire extinguishers in every room. My father was like, listen, fire break out, you don't run. No, you don't run. Y'all are all firefighters.
Davis and Michael Blackson.
All Africans don't know each other. Akon is not my brother. Flavor Flav is not my uncle.
Tickets at the box office and Ticketmaster.com. It's the Miami Festival of Laughs.
It's Big Lip here for OffLeaseOnly.com. And since Off Lease Only has blessed so many South Floridians this year, I brought my pastor in to help me talk about Off Lease Only. How you doing, Pastor? Praise God. So, Pastor, how many vehicles does Off Lease Only have? I would say over 5,000. So, Pastor, I got a question. If you don't like your Off Lease Only ride after purchase, what can you do? Bring it back within 5 days and 500 miles. It's a free exchange policy, and you know nowadays nothing ain't free except at Off Lease Only. So, how amazing are the deals at Off Lease Only? Well, according to the good book, most vehicles are priced thousands below retail. That's right, thousands below retail. The good book? I mean, you mean the Bible? No, Kelly Blue Book. Stupid. Okay, Pastor, my bad. Give Off Lease Only a call at 561-222-CARS or visit one of the massive state-of-the-art locations. Check them out now. That's right, offleaseonly.com.
Ever wanted to launch a career in tech? Miami-Dade College is offering a free 11-week course Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Once certified, you can seek jobs with top employers. For more information, visit usa.generation.org/MiamiIT.
This is Tom Joyner. Like me, you may be over 65, independent, and feeling good, but even healthy adults 65 or older are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Maybe you didn't know, but pneumococcal pneumonia is a bacterial lung disease. And once these bacteria invade the lungs and bloodstream, they can cause serious illness. But you can help prevent it. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination. Visit knowpneumonia.com to learn more. That's KNOW pneumonia.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
The Universal Circus is coming to Miramar Regional Park February 6th through the 23rd, and tickets make the perfect stocking stuffer. Welcome to the Universal Circus. Get tickets for as low as $17.50. Ticketmaster.com. Use code GIFT.
Broadcasting live from the
800-411 Pain Studios.
This is Miami's Hot 105. WHQT Coral Gables, the 2019 Marconi winner for Urban Station of the Year.
A Cox Media Group station.
Spend the day getting lost in art or discovering fossils free with Bank of America's Museums on Us program. Cardholders can enjoy their favorite museums on the first full weekend of every month. But this December, we're adding the 26th to the 31st. In South Florida, that means the History of Diving Museum, Museum of Contemporary Art, and Museum of Discovery and Science. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/museums. What would you like the power to do? Check with participating partners for operating hours. One free general admission per individual cardholder. Bank of America, N.A., member FDIC.
Attention to all the men listening right now. Valentine's Day is 2 months away. Plenty of time to get it right this year, fellas. And Hot 105 has your solution as we present the pre-Valentine's Love and R&B Tour with Jagged Edge.
You are the wild girl, I must confess. Come on. Let's get married.
Avant. Genuine. Kelly Price and Silk. On Saturday, February 8th, coming to the historic James L. Knight Center in the Magic City. Listen longer and listen more all this week to win tickets for you and your boo at 7-911-246-7911. Or download our free Hot 105 app by texting the keyword Hot 105 app to 28367. Do it now for more chances to win. Always more at hot105fm.com. The pre-Valentine's Love and R&B Tour is brought to you by Young Fly Entertainment and your station for 50 minutes of today's R&B and old school every hour. Hot 105.
Why waste a good night on sleep when you could create memories that you can keep for a lifetime? You can't put a price on a good time. Sometimes we just want to lose time, lose ourselves in each other, lose ourselves in the moment. Sometimes we just need to get lost together. Hot Talk with Jill Tracey. Let's make these times last forever. Let's speak to the night and not allow it to respond. Let's set the temperature, dictate the atmosphere, take charge of our destiny. Tonight is the night we speak to our future and bring up the topics that are the hottest. I am Chris Wisdom Leger on Hot 105, Hot Talk with Jill Tracey.
Your views matter to us. Call Hot Talk at 888-550-9105.
And welcome back to Hot Talk. 888-550-9105. I want to thank you, as always, for listening to Hot Talk. We had a little technical difficulty in the beginning of the show, which we have survived. And on tonight's show, we are live, all the way live. Don't have to, what is this? Just ride, skip it, fine. Just, right, sail along. That's what you do. You just sail along. What is it? What is the song?
Fantastic Voyage.
There you go. Thank you very much. Ding, ding, ding for 200. Okay. In the studio with me tonight are Miami Carroll Senior High's Loyal Alumni Association to discuss, just the messiness that seems to be going on at Carroll City High School. It came to my awareness because I have a friend who has kids there who is concerned about several things happening at the school. And for the past several days, I have been on several phone calls with several different people trying to get to the heart of what the issues are with Carroll City. And it would appear, for those of you who don't know, Carroll City from Miami Gardens, the crux of the issue is that the alumni and the staff and the principal don't seem to be seeing eye to eye, and there are a lot of things falling through the cracks, so much to the point that this $80 million high school that has a capacity of over 3,000, which graduated, less than a decade ago, 700 kids will be graduating, 116 in this upcoming graduation. And there are a lot of things attributed to that, but it is making for a very messy, nasty, stinky stew. We did invite Steve Gallen to be a part of the conversation. He declined. He did send information based on a meeting that he had with the Alumni Association. We actually did not speak to or reach out to Dr. Adrena Williams after having the conversation with Dr. Gallen. However, there really is there are a lot of calls. Are we ready to take some of between them? Listen, the only person who does these kind of numbers is Sheriff Israel, who, by the way, will be here next week. That they just light up like this. But I'm going to go to the Facebook page now. Ingrid B., so we're not going to acknowledge that the city also plays a part. The plans are public record. Hard Rock Stadium, they trying to race cars through the area, and on and on and on. Yes, well, there are several that I think we need to find now. I just had no idea when we started. Adrena Wilson, and parents keep a noted and fact-based record of these. Then these incidents won't seem personal and more factual. Very good, Adrena. Remember, facts don't lie, and they have facts on their side, along with a school board member. Be vigilant with everything. And Adriana, that's a very, very good point.
That is a very good point because, Miami is very small, especially in these political circles. And I've heard a lot of rumblings from a lot of people that I know that are just saying, the story is being spent that the Alumni Association is just catty and it's personal, this, that, and the third. But if you look at the phone calls that are coming in, and if you look at the influx of comments that are coming in across all of social media platforms, anybody with two eyes can see that this is not cattiness, and there is a problem at Carroll City where it comes to public faith, trust, and this principle.
Right.
There's a problem.
Yeah.
There's no way around that.
Yeah, and there is, and as I said, I had several phone calls today, and I'm like, there's something in the water stinks, because it is, it's not just these two women on a vigilante, mission to get rid of the principal. There's something much greater here, and I invite the principal and my friend Steve Gallen to be a part of the conversation. I know, he and I had a text conversation, and I won't tell them what I told you, but I do think that this is, and it's interesting, and that's why I think this story will not be going anywhere, because it has all of the same notes as what we're dealing with all the way up to the White House. Both sides are entrenched on what is the truth, and the truth is different on both sides. And somewhere in the middle, these are, our main mission is to make sure these kids matriculate well, and we're not serving their needs. Right. So for whatever it is, the only way I see this being solved is to get together and have a conversation, with the breadth of people that are caught. I can't even tell you how many people are on Facebook. I knew Shani Shan said, I knew the school was doomed when they got rid of the fine arts department and other enrichment programs. I agree. When you told me they got rid of cosmetology, I remember when that happened in Detroit. When a lot of schools started losing funding, and our parents just moved us to other schools where they were, but there were so many societal issues around that. But the schools that people, quote unquote, cared about, they took care of them. So that, there are some remnants of that there. Okay, so let's take these calls. Hi, welcome to Hot Talk. Who's this? I'm sorry. Hi, welcome to Hot Talk. Who's this? Can you hear me?
I just relocated last year. My daughter just graduated from Miami Harris City Senior High last year. I am also a alumni class of 01. My thing is, Adrian has an agenda. I feel like, this is my opinion, and just watching from the sidelines. Dr. Gallen brought in his people, and I feel like she wants to bring in her people too. That's why she's getting rid of the people that's going to have a say-so at the school, getting rid of shooting down the parents that's voicing their opinions. And
I just don't understand why it's taking so long. It's been almost 2 years for Team and them been advocating for these students at the school. A lot of different things have been going on behind the scenes, and I just think that it's so unfair to these kids that they have to transfer out of the district or transfer to other schools because she is not doing her job. I was one of the parents that she told in a cheerleading meeting that she is from Brown Sub. She has no disregard for those kids. I don't feel like the kids are her number one priority.
That was an intimidation
I just
factor.
feel like Gally and Adrian has a agenda, and it's really, really sad.
Yeah.
Really sad. I am the parent that came to the school 3 different times to see the advisor. Once I got upset with the advisor, scheduled a meeting with her. She didn't show up. Oh, the receptionist told me she'll call me. I have yet to receive a call from this lady. She got rid of the cheerleader coach that took the girls. First time in probably school history. And like I said, I graduated in 01. My husband graduated from Carol City. My daughter graduated from my sisters graduated from Carol City. So this is
family.
Nothing new to us.
So it has always okay. Well, you said
she got rid of the cheerleader coach that took these girls on college experience. Pushed this lady out the door for what reason? And then when you ask her a question, she is so defensive. If you're a professional, you should be able to answer any question I have for you.
Right.
Well, my daughter had for 3 months straight, no cosmetology teacher.
And that was a class that she was taking.
No, they gave her that class.
And there was no instructor.
They out of a math class.
I've never heard anything like that.
They gave her cosmetology.
Okay.
This lady has an agenda. As a team, I'm no longer in Miami, Florida. I'm in Atlanta. Y'all keep pushing and pushing. This is not a school problem. This is a community problem.
Thank you.
This is not about Carol City Senior High. This is a community problem. Y'all have to keep y'all foot on this lady's neck. Keep y'all foot on the school board's neck, the Gallon. They don't want to talk because they don't have answers. They don't have answers because they have an agenda. You understand what I'm saying?
I do understand.
I'm nervous, but they have an agenda. Y'all need to get to the bottom of this foolishness. We don't need Rick Ross. We need real community activists that care about these kids to get to the bottom of this. It's not about football. It's not about none of that stuff. My daughter was on the flag football team 3 years straight. When Dre passed away, we have no coach. We have somebody that volunteered and stepped in to do something for these girls. No coach.
No.
Why is there no coach? I don't have to explain anything to you. Okay, don't say no more, ma'am. We on that.
Thank you very much for your call.
You know, and Jill, to the call.
Y'all keep up the good work. I'll be watching from Atlanta because she ain't going to work my nerves.
Okay.
To this caller's point, we have to address.
She was very emotional.
We have to address the cronyism. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. You know, when a new president or new somebody takes regime, they like to bring in their people to help them get the agenda done.
Right.
But at the point in which you're pushing out people to the detriment of the students, one has to ask Ms. Williams and Dr. Gallen, what is the agenda? What are you doing? Because apparently, whatever it is you're doing, it's not working for the better benefit
So
of
let me
the kids.
ask you, when you were in the meeting with him, what was that address? What is the agenda? Is there an agenda that we're missing that, you know, we need to all be on the same page on? I'm coming, callers.
We've asked about what's the plan for Carol City.
Right.
And we were told, well, there is no plan outside of the school improvement plan. And the school improvement plan is just a traditional document that all schools in the district have to have. It's a plan that basically says what they're going to do with the school. However, Carol City needs something more thorough than that. That's a copy and pasted document that appears at Carol City Senior High right now. It's something that's just generic, and it doesn't really speak to the reconstruction of Carol City.
Right.
So basically, we're on the receiving end of there is no plan as of right now to reconstruct our school, and that's the fight. That's what we want. We just want someone to tell us what is the progressive plan to help our enrollment, to improve the academics, and to improve the programs for the kids at Carol City, because they're missing out on a lot of opportunities. Why is Norland down the street from Carroll City, but they have the programs and the enrollment. American is down the street. They have the programs and the enrollment, but Carroll City is lacking. And it absolutely is a community problem. And it's a community problem that we've been trying to fight. We've been trying to bring awareness to it. And they are trying to push the narrative that it's only the alumni that's complaining. You can tell from the comments on the Facebook feed that it's way more than the alumni. And the alumni has just become the vessel at this point because the people do not know where to go to advocate.
Right. Well, several of the people that have called said that they tried to reach out and they tried to reach out and speak to somebody, and you all were the only ones that were receptive. Hi, welcome to Hot Talk. Who's this?
Yes, this is Brother Albert.
Hello, Brother Al. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, Sister. This is Sister Jill.
Yes, sir.
This is a program here all of the world need to listen to.
Thank you, sir.
The key to the problem is this. God said, pray to him with a good heart. The Supreme Court said, don't pray. And that's where the problem going at. Whatever God, prayer, Bible, and his laws and ways and commandments has been eliminated, everything going to fall and fail, without a shadow of a doubt. And these children, you know, I used the word cement the other night we was talking, and what happened, their mind is being cemented godlessly. And where there's godlessness, there's going to be failure. You understand?
Yes, I do.
The laws of God got to be obeyed, brought back into our hearts and minds. He is our creator. Amen. Not the man-made law that these sisters and brothers got to be going through. And y'all got a good program going on tonight, brothers and sisters.
Thank you.
We all need to hear it, and all of us going to eventually get involved because this problem is increasing all around us.
Yeah.
We are creatures of God, and we have eliminated the creator out of our lives.
Yeah.
And that is a serious problem. The children don't even pray in school no more. When I went to Phillips Sweet Elementary School, we prayed first thing in the morning.
Yep. Yeah.
You understand?
Yes, I do.
God is the creator of our sisters and brothers. There's going to be problems.
Yeah.
To the extent of those problems, we don't know. Because lawlessness is on the increase. Hate is on the increase. People, let me say this much.
Okay.
We are being made in the image of man. Y'all know that Bible verse says, let us make man in our image. Well, we've been made in the image of other people. We never did speak no English. English is a unholy language. We never had unholy ways in our life. We was brought over here, like the Bible say, we was made in the image of the people that enslaved us and brought us over here. Our parents and mothers and fathers were sold. We didn't know one another. We ain't had no community. Even today, on so many thousand states, and cities and stuff like that, we are in the ghetto. We was uneducated. We was mistreated. And the same thing is still going on. And I'm going to use that word again, cement. It's being cemented. You know, when you pour the cement, it's soft. You can shape it the way you want. Mm-hmm. And then it get hard.
And then it gets hard. It's immovable.
It's getting hard.
That's a good one. That is a really good analogy.
The more hard it gets, the harder it is to deal with.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, babe.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
That's what the message told us about. We've been made in the image of other people instead of ourselves. The Bible says, get a knowledge of God, self, and the devil, and be your godly self. And we're not our godly self the way we've been brought over here and made in the image of others. That's what the Bible talking about, people.
All right. Thank you, Brother
May
Al.
God bless us all. Stay strong, and don't give up.
We want
Amen.
Brother Al. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, babe. Yeah, Brother Al. Listen,
Brother
when
Al
Brother
is
Al
serious.
says amen, I just
But Jill, to Brother Al's point,
I'm coming for the other
I would
callers.
actually be more equipped to deal with some of these issues if they were coming from people who did not look like us. You know, it is troubling that we're having all this discourse
Amongst
when all of us should be on the same page and want the same thing for our children.
And that is, and that's when you and I spoke, I was like, at the end of the day, this is about the kids.
And
it's about, and I think everybody, we're talking about education and we're talking about, parents and families. And we can agree that all of our goals is the education of our children. But there's so much stuff in the way of this. And I can't help, but we have not received, and this is no tea, no shade, but we have not received one call or
That's favorable.
Facebook on the other side to explain what it is that all of these people are missing that is in place that maybe could help everyone understand.
And I think that there's something to say when the community expresses their displeasure about someone and our elected officials, meaning Dr. Gallen, seems to side of the person that they have displeasure about and don't even pretend to at least entertain the notion of putting some of these people's fears
to rest.
At rest.
Okay, and so I will say this, that the way I understand all of this, right, is that we all kind of walk in different spaces, and a lot of times, unfortunately, some discount the walk of others. Let's just say that, okay? And think that there is a better way to do this, and if you would just pay attention and let me do this, it will get done. However, we don't really know what it is. You don't really know what it is because they're not willing to have this conversation with you. And, and I don't, because it is for our community, because it is for the betterment of our community, it is important to have both sides, presented and to be able, because there's so many things that we're saying that there's no sidebar, there's no, and I'm hoping that maybe somebody who understands this from the other side, please be sure to, okay.
But I think, too, some people need to be reminded that we don't work for y'all, y'all work for us. You know what I'm saying? Down to the principal, down to the school board members. We vote you in. You work for us. And if the people are unhappy and dissatisfied, then something should be done. It's funny because it would seem to me that an active alumni association is actually the perfect thing that you would want.
Exactly.
And I always have to side-eye people who have an issue with the system of checks and balances. If you don't have, if your house is clean and everything is on the up and up, then why are you so bothered by people asking questions and wanting to know what the plan is and what the heck is going on at the school? Why does that bother you so?
Right. Well, and like I said, it's a microcosm of a bigger picture. And if you ask, and I hate to have to use the Democrats Republicans analogy, but they are stonewalling. They don't, the Republicans don't want to answer any questions on behalf of, the Senate. I mean, the House. So Nancy said, I'm going to just hold on to these papers then. And then, Mitch McConnell said, okay, well, just hold on. I don't want to have no court case, no way. And where are we? Nowhere. And so we, the better angels should prevail in our situation, one would think. Yes. All right. Let's, hi, welcome to Hot Talk. Who's this?
Bill Williams.
Bill Radio?
Bill Williams. Bill
Williams.
Bill Williams. How are you, sir? Do you have a comment?
Yes, I got a comment.
Yes, please.
Yes, how y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
I'm all right. First of all, I hear the problem that's going on in Carol City. It's not just Carol City, it's in the inner city too. What I heard Saturday, that they're going to be closing down Ponciana.
Wow.
We're not holding the people who we elected on that school board. We're not holding them accountable for it. Every inner city school is gone because of these charters challenging. And I think we got some of these school board members that we need to do an investigation. They doing this charter school thing. And many of our kids, it's not the enrollment. Many of our kids are in that jail system, juvenile.
Right.
And they're not attending that. That's why enrollment is going down. But the superintendent them know better because they is not telling us the truth. And all they doing is gambling with our kids and these charter schools. They trying to do away with charter school. We got to come together and stop this charter school game. This is where we're losing our black inner city schools. And we not holding, I'm going to say this again. You got these blacks sitting on these boards, these school boards, and not telling us now. One thing are coming holding town on me, not giving us an update. They part of the problem right now, and we need to put them out of the door.
And see, one thing we used to do is we need to sign a petition to start getting them out because they playing too many head games. They really is playing head games. I don't care who they are. And it's a shame that our kids going through this process. And they say it starts from home. Yeah. One thing I learned, it starts with the people we elected. We're not holding them accountable.
That's true.
And we all need to come together in this inner city and stop this foolishness because I seen the superintendent walking down 15th Saturday. See, it's a game playing with them.
Well, he was there for Terry Elliott's event.
Yeah, and that was a good thing.
Yeah.
But stop putting one thing, y'all got to remember, when we elected these people in these high positions, we don't need to see the superintendent. We need to see the ones who we elected. And if he can't open the door and tell us the truth, Miami Northwestern, if you're going to look at the bathroom, we passed the bill 222. We getting the share for everything. I don't see in Carroll City Middle School, they gutting it out, that little school over there on 191. Still a tear down and build it over. They don't do that to other schools. They give them a state of art.
State of art, yeah.
They give them a state of art. So we're not getting the treatment like we're supposed to. They try to get rid of inner city schools and make it all charter schools. Right. And if we don't come together and from Northwestern, I'm alumni, I don't care. From Northwestern, Carroll City, Central, Edison, we got to save all our black schools because right now, if you ride by Alapata Elementary, the name has changed. It's not Alapata Elementary no more. It's changing. And they're knocking down these public housing. We're losing it because of charter schools. And I'm saying that to y'all, I hope all of us get together and start doing something. And we need to start piling that school board meetings because everything down south is good. They good down south, but they came down to north.
Right.
And we got people sitting there, it's not giving town hall meetings, and they throwing rocks, but not telling the truth because guess what? They're part of the problem.
Well, I thank you so much for your call. I got to take a break right now.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All
and
right.
Those of you that are still on the phone, I'm going to come back to you on the other side. And Facebook, we're going to get to you on the other side. Stefan is trying to keep up on the Facebook page. So we're going to let him, kind of catch up during this break, and we'll be back on the other side. I am Jill Tracey, and this is indeed tonight Hot Talk on Hot 105.
Ever wanted to launch a career in tech? Miami-Dade College is offering a free 11-week course Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Once certified, you can seek jobs with top employers. For more information, visit usa.generation.org/MiamiIT.
We build, you save. Construction of the all-new Ocean Cadillac is underway. Lease a 2019 Cadillac XT5, just $309 per month, 0 down. The all-new Ocean Cadillac, off I-95 and Miami Gardens Drive on IPCO Road. OceanCadillac.com. Stock number 192-86081. Courtesy vehicle, MSRP $44,245. 39-month lease, 7,500 miles per year. 0 down plus inception. Must have Cadillac lease loyalty and be Costco member. Ends 1/2/20.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Wait. Tell me where'd you get that money?
All this? Oh, man, all this money came through 43money.com right online.
Are you saying you went to 43money.com and got all that money you needed fast?
Man, you know it. I went to 43money.com and bam, my money showed up in my account today.
Now hold on. 43money.com helped you get money for real?
Yeah, man, that's right. 43money.com's lenders provide personal loans for up to $5,000 for people like you and me, even if you don't have good credit.
Man, I'm always short on cash. Can 43money.com help me get the money I need fast?
If you need extra money fast, go to 43money.com. Just have a checking account and a regular source of income. Go to 43money.com and you can get the loan you need fast. Regardless of your credit, go to 43money.com to get the money you need fast. Type www.43money.com directly into their address bar. Go to 43money.com. That's 43money.com. Again, that's 43money.com.
Texting rules for recurring marketing messages sent via automatic text message. Terms and conditions at textrules.us. Message and data rates may apply.
Attention, anyone interested in a money-making career in fitness as a personal trainer. There is a massive need right now for personal trainers right here in Miami. The ISSA, the global leader in personal fitness certification, is guaranteeing you will get a job. That's right, since there are more jobs available than personal trainers, once you're certified, ISSA guarantees you'll get a job. Just text POWER to 246810 now to get started for free. Gyms such as Equinox and YouFit are desperate for qualified trainers and are paying top dollar. And for a limited time, the ISSA is letting you get started on their #1 rated personal trainer certification program absolutely free. Just text POWER to 246810 now to get your special link and get started on your certification free. Text POWER to 246810. Don't wait another day to start your career in fitness. Get certified and get a job fast, guaranteed. Just text POWER to 246810 right now to get started with your ISSA certification for free. Text the word POWER to 246810.
There will never be another Tom Joyner, and there will never be another Tom Joyner morning show. You've made our world better. You took me to the White House. You took me to South Africa. You took me to the Coop in Tuskegee. And I love you, Tom Joyner, and I can never, ever thank you enough for what you have done for this little girl from the south side of Chicago. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Sybil.
Hot 105, yeah.
Why waste a good night on sleep when you could create memories that you can keep for a lifetime? You can't put a price on a good time. Sometimes we just want to lose time, lose ourselves in each other, lose ourselves in the moment. Sometimes we just need to get lost together. Hot Talk with Jill Tracey. Let's make these times last forever. Let's speak to the night and not allow it to respond. Let's set the temperature, dictate the atmosphere, take charge of our destiny. Tonight is the night we speak to our future and bring up the topics that are the hottest. I am Chris Wisdom Leger on Hot 105, Hot Talk with Jill Tracey.
To join Hot Talk, call 888-550-9105. And now, back to Hot Talk.
Yes, indeed. 888-550-9105. We're in the last quarter of the show. And listen, I can't even explain to you the level of participation in the show tonight. I was sharing with the guest here in studio that no one, and with Stefan from Live Events TV, who is bringing you the broadcast on the web, on the Hot 105 Facebook page, as well as Funky Dineva's YouTube page. You can catch the live broadcast, and you can, if you're on Facebook, you can send a comment, and we'll be reading them in just a few seconds. Thank you so much for. He said they're sending lots of comments. So yes, just we'll get to you in the last maybe for like 5 minutes, but just keep them coming. And so those of you who are just joining us, I'm talking to members of the Carroll City Senior High School alumni who are concerned, as it would appear many in the community are, about what is in Carroll City High School. There are any number of accounts, but one of the largest seems to be a disconnect between administration and the alumni and the students and the parents. We've had several parents call to voice their dismay at what's going on there. Let's quick fire take these calls, and then we're going to run down this sheet right quick, so we have some clarity here. Hi, welcome to Hot Talk. Who's this?
And then we're going to run down this sheet right quick, so we have some clarity. Hi,
turn your radio on. Hi.
Okay, hold on. Let me turn my radio down. Sorry. Hold on.
That works. Thank you. Okay. So, how was your weekend? No, I'm serious.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead, babe.
Yes, I was calling concerned about the
comments that I'm listening to on the radio right now.
Mm-hmm.
I am not going to disclose my name because I do work for the district.
Okay.
And I am also a alumni of Carroll City, but also one of the, I would say probably one of the instructors that no longer works there due to this same situation. But I was listening to the previous person that has spoken on the Albert, and I think he's close to being on the head of what I believe.
Brother Al.
As I have dealt with, right, that I've dealt with the same situation. And personally, Dr. Gallen, who is our school board member, we know came from that situation in New Jersey. He's just previously been made the chairperson of the school board. However, he does not, and he cannot teach in the state of Florida at all because they revoked his certificate. So his agenda is to push charter schools. He happened to be in the midst of this transition that took place. And so bringing in this friend of his, I guess, helped him to go on board with the same idea. Because if Carroll City becomes a charter, of course, he cannot teach in any school, but he can control a charter school. So that's not him alone. That is from the district. The district is pushing that agenda, and they happen to be the tools that buy into that deal to do so. And, of course, they're not going to respond because there is an agenda for this pushing Carroll City, it being the state-of-the-art building it is in Miami Gardens. And, you know, why should we have that? Why should African Americans have that when we can give it to somebody else and literally make the money off the backs of those who live here? And our kids will have to go to other schools. But it's a sad situation. That's what I was just calling in to talk about, just listening to what was going on.
Well, I thank you so much for your comment.
Okay.
All right, my dear. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yeah, you know, and you can hear the passion in people's voices that you know, it's really hard because, you know, once we started having the conversation, Quentin, it's heartbreaking because this is us and us. This is not, you know, it's not one of those situations where, you know, the clear and present enemy is someone that is trying to remove that is trying to, you know, move us to another space again. This is us on us.
And it's even more unfortunate when you express your concerns with us that it's taken personal.
Yeah.
None of this is personal.
Well, and I did hear a lot of that people, you know, like I said, I mean, the comment that kind of got everybody rattled up was somebody on your page talking about her wig, Dr.
And let me clear
Adrena's
that up.
wig.
The Alumni Association never said anything about her wig or called her any derogatory names. We do not operate like that. Now, we did make a post in a frustrated parent in the comment section did make a comment about the wig, and we deleted it, because we didn't want to entertain that. So, for the record, we did not make any of those comments about her wig.
It's enough going on at that school. The wig is the very least of our concern.
Right. Well, and I will say again, you know, it unfortunately mirrors the big picture so much because a lot of the pushback on the Alumni Association and everybody around supporting you is that you just don't know your place.
And you're bitter for no reason.
Right.
It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the fact.
I push back against that because, you know, staunchly, because that just demeans who we all are, that we are just so uneducated and so transparent that something as simple as I don't like her weave or her purse or she thinks she's cute, that would start us on a road to disturb our children's education. And I just will not I won't play into that conversation. There is something greater, and I think on both sides it needs to be taken seriously. Because these women would not be here in the middle of the night just because they don't like that woman. I just refuse to believe that.
There's nothing personal against her. We're here for the same fight we've been in here for before she was there. Because and to be completely transparent, she didn't create all of these problems at Carroll City.
Right.
Some of the things she did inherit, and we were there before she came to partner with the administration, and that's what we planned on doing when she came along, to partner with her to figure out what's going to be the plan for Carroll City and how we're going to help and assist with that plan. But when
there's a student. I'm sorry, babe. There's a student, Jordan Perry, said he's trying to get through on Facebook. So if you see Jordan Perry, pull him up. So apparently this is a student that's chiming in. On. Yeah.
Well, and while we try to get that comment, I want to make the point, Jill, about the charter school situation and the trouble that Dr. Gallen has been in before in the past as it relates to charter schools. It's also worth mentioning that he is tied to a charter school that is within Carroll City's district. In one way or another, one could connect some dots and say that you directly benefit from the non-enrollment at Carroll City. He's tied to it.
How is he tied to it?
The Arts Academy of Excellence. And it's also worth mentioning that it's the only D school in District 1.
Somebody put that up. Okay, but how is he tied to that? That's a real loaded, that's a bomb you just threw in the middle of the room and it's lit. No, but I mean, how is he tied to that school? And people repent for their sins. So I will not bring I want to stay in the current issue because, and we all got skeletons. Actually, I don't have no more. And see, that's the beauty. And neither do you.
Right. Once your stuff hit the fan.
Hey, thank you. I mean, and once you do, you open it up, you clean it out, you dust it out. Y'all can come in and look and see what was in there before. I have no problem with that. But I don't I don't want to use whatever happened in his past. But that's who he is at this moment. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Going back to the beginning.
Well, to your earlier quote as well. A leopard doesn't change its stripes. Its spots. And it looks as if we're following down the same path of things that you have been accused of and or gotten in trouble for in the past in terms of the cronyism and things of that nature.
Right. Okay. Well, so in his defense, Crystal Cunningham, wow, Crystal, that's small. I'm a graduate and former teacher of Carroll City. When I returned from teaching overseas, I tried to return to teaching Carroll City and was specifically told by other administration not to mention in my interview that I was a former student or former educator because I would not be hired back. I did not believe them because I know I am a highly qualified educator. Unfortunately, they were right because once the principal found out I was a former student, a former teacher, she would not even offer me an interview. I could not believe it. Wow.
And
that's
Jill,
Crystal Cunningham on Facebook.
That is the concern of a lot of the alumnus.
Well, what is that? I don't understand.
A lot of the alumnus have complained about they have tried to return to Carroll City to be teachers and to support, and they have got rejected from being in the building. And that's a concern of ours as well, because the alumni is there to help build the pride and the student capacity, morale, and also, of course, help with academics.
And
so
they have
if
the
people,
relationships in the community.
Right. So when people want to return to their alma mater to work and to give back, it's now become sort of a curse to be an alma mater of Carroll City.
Very odd. Hi, welcome to Hot Talk. Who's this?
Hello, this is Max. I have a comment for the show.
Yes, Max.
Oh, I'm on the air?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I have a question for you. This is Jill Tracey, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. A quick question. I heard this story about Oprah Winfrey. She walked into a jewelry store and she picked up something, and they told her, that's too much money. You can't afford that.
Right.
And I was wondering, have you ever experienced? Because you remind me a lot of Oprah. Have you ever experienced racism? Because I know you probably like nice things. You go to nice stores. Have you ever experienced racism or classism, and how did you respond to it when you go out?
Oh, well, thank you, babe. Yes, in fact, I have many times, and it doesn't. It's just, silly rabbit. That's how I deal with them now, because it's, there's no, Sheriff Israel told me once we did a show called How Do I Survive an Interaction with Police? And he said, you're never going to win the fight with the police on the street, period. He's like, whatever they tell you to do, just do it, because your only job is to get home alive. And in that instance, yes, it happens. It does happen. It has happened to me before. People, they overlook me. They, especially when I had a little hooptina car. And I would drive up and they would, just walk past me. And then I would get there and be on the guest list. And, oh my goodness, Miss Tracey, it's so wonderful to have you, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, oh my God, that's you. Yeah, that's my hooptina car over there too. I don't have it no more, thank God. Praise Jesus. But, so yes, people a lot of times will deal with you based on who they think you are. And then, if they think you're valuable enough to them, then they will acknowledge you and your presence. But yes, it's happened to me several times, and as long as I'm black, it will continue to happen to me, just like it did Oprah. She was at a Swiss, I think it was a bag or something she was buying. It was the Hermes store, I think she was. Hi, welcome to Hot Talk. Who's this?
Based on who they think you are, and
hello. Hi, turn your radio down.
To them. Sorry.
That's all right, babe. You had a question? Comment?
Yes, I did. I'm listening online on Facebook, and I wanted to bring up a couple of things that have been brought to my attention as well regarding Carroll City and the current state with the administration, primarily the hiring of teachers and the selection process with giving preferential treatment to certain people who, in other means, wouldn't qualify. So recently, the school went through a process of hiring a new football coach for their football program.
Right.
And several of the candidates, there were several discrepancies throughout the process of the hiring, whether it be from the flyers that were promoted in the social media to also just the people that even applied and then ultimately who was selected. There was a lot of favoritism. I'm trying to think where to even start from. Probably starting from the hiring process. There were several different people that applied that were overly qualified, not just having the minimum requirement of a bachelor's degree, but some even having a master's degree, years of experience. And ultimately, all of those things were overlooked, especially if they were alumni of the school. To select someone who was underqualified doesn't meet the requirements for a position of being the program director of the football program for the school, and ultimately selecting them just because of, whoever they're connected to. One of the things also, when you look at the interview process that was brought to my attention, within the interview process, there were people sitting in on the interview panel who were either connected to the principal or connected to the school board member. Also, the head coach that was ultimately selected, his brother-in-law, was sitting in on the panel, which I think is a direct flaw in the hiring process. How can you have a fair chance if you're hiring, when you're interviewing somebody who ultimately is your brother-in-law? You're going to, of course, have, a preferred, you're going to definitely want to be on their side, of course. Right. And so you're already giving the other candidates that are applying not even a fair chance. There's no possible reason or explanation to justify having. Right.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's not right, and I mean it's
not
definitely
right under
flawed.
any circumstances. And I agree with you completely. However, it is the way that the ball bounces, and unfortunately, I don't have an answer for that. I mean, I think that we just all are subject to it. It depends on where you are and what your goal is, and who can help you move towards it. Many other communities are very unapologetic about hiring practices such as those, and they, hold firm and tight. So many of us would say, well, we're just adopting the same way that other people operate, but unfortunately, there are fewer of us in the positions to hire. So it's a horrible imbalance. Well, you can't really compare so much the black community to the Hispanic community. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think a large part of the issue, though, as it relates to this hiring situation or what this young woman is talking about, is much like the re-envisioning plan. The whole hiring of the coach was another masquerade put on where you posed as if you were actually doing a fair candidate selection process. And going back to the word that I've been using throughout the night, cronyism, you went and got one of your buddies, and Fatima, from my understanding, who doesn't even have a certification to teach high school. A person actually has an elementary school certification. So what is he going to teach 9th through 12th graders, the ABCs?
Hi, welcome to Hot Talk. Who's this?
Hello?
Hello. Hi. You had a question or comment?
Yes. This is Yvonne.
Hi, Yvonne. You have a comment?
I have a comment.
Yes.
I'm a 1970 graduate of Miami Carroll City Senior High School, and I am deeply disturbed.
Mm-hmm. I hear it in your voice. You're very proud. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's kind of called is very proud of having been graduates of Carroll City, and this is deeply disturbing, and that is why it is so impactful. Go ahead. Continue your statement.
Okay. Now, we have been invited into the school many times, our class, and we've been on accreditation boards.
Mm-hmm.
We've been supporting Carroll City. And this thing started long before this new principal got there.
Mm-hmm.
And we walked through the school and we saw some things that disturbed us and we brought it to their attention.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is pointing their finger, but that's not going to solve the problem.
No.
We need an oversight board or a public citizen board to look at this thing real good, because the rumor has been going around that this is supposed to be a charter school. And I can tell you, the 979 people that graduated with me, those that are still here, we are not going to allow this to happen. Because this is a good school. It's in the middle of our community. And why should our children have to be sent to another school out of their community? We had the best of the best there. Now, we can get back there, but we got to stop pointing the fingers and stop. Some of this stuff is just frivolous.
Right.
We need to get to the root of it. We need to put it out and let it come to public awareness.
Yeah.
We're going to have to fight for it. It's not going to come easy, but we're going to fight for it. We're not going to let our school go like that.
Now, let me ask you something, because, you made a very, very valid point. Now, would you, because you're only hearing really one side of the conversation, there's a lot of minutia in there that, probably is not necessary and wouldn't be there. Would you welcome having a conversation like this on the radio with the powers that be at Carroll City and the Alumni Association?
If this is what need to get it out, see, we got to cut through the garbage,
right?
And let's get to the facts and get to the issue,
right?
Now, I personally know this principal when she was at a middle school, and how compassionate she was. When I got to Carroll City, I saw a change from where the previous administration. Wow. And I saw it going in a good direction. Now, what else is coming in there to disturb this, or what other agendas that they have? I'm not privy to that, but I do know it needs to stop. This is one of the finest schools with the law program. And when I was there, you didn't go to college. You left there with a certificate to train as a mechanic, cosmetologist, junior business person. You did not leave that school without a possibility of a future.
Yeah. Right. Thank you so much for your comment.
Those are the programs that we want.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. Yeah, because I went to Cass Tech in Detroit, and that is what that school, even MLK, several schools in Detroit were like that. You left there being able to do something.
Yeah.
I mean, in our day, don't get me started about how long our days
worth
were.
Mentioning, and part of that wing of the school that is closed is the auto body program. And we've already seen articles circulating around right now that say there's a negative ROI on college, negative return on investment on college educations right now, and that America is short on tradespeople. So when you cut our nursing program, when you cut the auto mechanic program, when you cut cosmetology, that speaks directly to the root of that issue. And who it affects minorities first. We're already at the bottom of the totem pole financially, academically, educationally, and everything else in between. We need those programs at that school. Hence, we need the enrollment up, and we need the right people in place who have our children's best interests at heart and who are not pushing these secret agendas and giving us their you-know-what to kiss when we ask the right questions.
All right, Cindy speaks. Another thing, Cindy had a lot of comments tonight. I missed them all. Another thing to consider is what was her purpose of being placed there? Sometimes from an administrative standpoint and policy, sometimes people are placed in positions with no authority. Interesting. We're wrapping up. You want to? I want to take the. Do you have some others you want to take? And there's just such a laundry list. I'm gonna go. I mean, this is really a two-parter, maybe three, because because this is this is the core of a community conversation.
And Jill, I also wanted to mention, because we get emails from the students at Carroll City too, particularly the iPrep students at Carroll City. iPrep has a customary design program, which is one of the superintendent's initiatives. And the program right now is unable to successfully run with fidelity because the computer lab that is located in one of the building facilities is completely closed down due to low enrollment. The entire west wing of Carroll City is closed down. It's building 6. And students have been relocated to a classroom that doesn't allow for the 1-to-1 ratio on the computer stations and the textbook resources that accompany these programs. The teachers are forced to print the content out on paper and give it to the kids, and the teachers have to pay for the ink and the paper. So the iPrep program is another major component of Carroll City that is not being operated with fidelity, and the iPrep kids have expressed their frustrations about that as well.
And nothing. There's been no movement on that.
No movement.
So of the I hate to even get in. I really even can't. I can't actually because. Yeah, we're out of time. But there's, I still have 6 pages over here to
and
go
we
through.
Also wanted to say, because I know I've seen on Facebook at one point in time it became a Northwestern and Carroll City
Bulls,
thing.
I'm seeing a lot of those comments.
It's not a Carroll City and Northwestern thing. It doesn't matter where you graduated from. It's how you do your job. That's not an issue with us. Our issue is we want the programs for our kids. We want the iPrep ran with fidelity. We want to give the kids at Carroll City an opportunity to benefit from a comprehensive learning experience holistically. And we want it to be fair for them. Our kids at Carroll City deserve just as much as all other kids in all other programs. And Araya is the language of the language of the unheard. So as of right now, we've gotten to the point where the people haven't heard us, and no one wants to listen. And all we want is a progressive program or plan that tells us where Carroll City is going. Because we can only assume that it's going down the wrong path if you can't give us a plan. And you're not telling us
and we want a
anything.
non-hostile seat at the table.
Right.
We don't want nobody fired. I don't want nobody fired. I'm not trying to take no food out of nobody's plate. We are all trying, or should be, on the same team.
Exactly.
And can we just sit down and talk together? I mean, that was my objective of coming here, because a lot of times people say, you're screaming on Facebook, you're making noise. What's the objective?
Well, that's how this happened. Right.
And the point is, I wanted to put pressure on the right people to come to the table. I hate the fact that Dr. Gallen refused, for whatever reason, to do this show. Maybe he didn't have time. Maybe he thought he was too big to do the show, whatever the case may be, because we need the answers. And why are you guys running from the Alumni Association, who's just simply trying to look out for the interests of our community and our kids?
And all right. Is this Jordan?
In the face.
Yes, this is.
Hi, Jordan. Okay. I have people tell you, you have friends in high places who are texting my phone, me like, Jordan's trying to call in. You're going to be my last call. Go ahead, babe.
Okay.
Go ahead. You're on. You're live.
Oh.
Yes.
Hi. Okay, so I just graduated 2019, and I don't see what they see about Miss Williams. Like, I was a part of iPrep. Everybody wants to know what happened to iPrep. I was very much functioning, not at its full capacity, obviously, but that didn't happen 2016, 2015 when it first started, when I first got there, because I was the first class of iPrep. I don't see this bad person that everyone makes her out to be. I call her my auntie now. I invited her to my trunk party. She's been to my apartment in Tallahassee. Right. Because I'm now a student at Florida State on almost a full ride.
Right.
And let me a great amount.
Jordan, I don't, and I don't want you to get the impression that, that people are saying that she's a bad person. She is she's a high school administrator, which means that, she's put the time and the work in to, because she cared about, and you are the proof that she cares about her job and the students that matriculate with her. However, can you understand that everybody has not had that experience?
Okay, that's understandable.
And that they want to find out why they're not having the great experience that you had with her. Does that make sense to you?
Well, I can attest to
Yeah.
having a great experience by making myself available.
Jordan, who told you to call here?
Stop that. I mean, I don't know if anybody, but no, Jordan, what I'm saying is that if you know, it's like anything else. You go in a store, you have a great experience. Somebody else goes in and it takes them an hour to get their food. And they come out and say, that is the worst restaurant ever. And you come out and say, I had a great meal. It was wonderful. They were so nice to me. Do you see what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that either one of you is right or wrong. It just means your experiences were different. Mm-hmm. And so what I'm offering you is that if you were able to sit with other people who did not have that experience, do you think you'd be able to share with them something so that they could, maybe they missed something that you were able to connect with? Do you see
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? Right.
But, okay, we know the problem, so now what's next?
Right. And
everyone knows the problems. Everyone knows these quote-unquote facts. So what's next?
Well, and that is the question.
That's the question we want answered.
Yes. And that is, thank you, Jordan. And that is part two. Like, what is next? Now you've heard from both sides, really. You know, and part of it will be me extending an invitation to Dr. Adrena Williams and Dr. Steve Gallen to come and be, or whoever surrogates they'd like to send, to be a part of the conversation, because just like we don't like what's happening in Washington when they're stonewalling each other, the same thing is true in our community. There's if we're all doing this for the right reason, there's no need to stonewall. Let's just have this conversation. Everybody is worthy and valuable to be heard and understood.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Period. Thank you, City Girls. So on that note, I'm going to jump out of here because we are a little bit over time. Yes, sir. Part two, please. Yes, Crystal Nicole, done. It's done and done. Part two, I may have to move some January shows around. Next week we have Sheriff Israel and I will end the year next Sunday night. And yeah, I think the first of the year, I think it would warrant me moving some of those shows
and hopefully
around
we have
the
some
beginning of the year.
progress to report by that time.
Yes,
hopefully
we'll have the other side too.
You know,
and hopefully they'll drop that cattiness.
And again, I want to make it known to.
All right, see, we was doing so well.
I want to just make it known to Adrena and Dr. Gallen that there is no hostility on this side.
No,
and that the
not
Alumni
at all.
Association, as well as the rest of us, we would like to sit down and talk with them in a non-hostile manner, just to get some answers.
Well, Steve Gallen
and
said
some
he did sit down with you all for 3.5 hours, and you know that everything that he answered all of your questions.
But you know what? As an elected official, if things still are unresolved and unfixed, then don't you owe it to the people to help
And we left.
to
I
help
agree
them?
with that as well. That
We
you
left with
should.
unanswered questions.
Yeah.
We still had issues because we still never knew what was the plan. What's the plan? So
This
maybe we'll find out.
the revisioning
So
plan.
Steve, we're calling on you. Steve, we're calling on you. You and Miss Williams, we would love, for this to be a fair and balanced conversation where the callers and all, we can all sit down and converse one-on-one and get some real answers and not just have a one-way conversation.
This might even require a Hot Talk Live.
So, yeah.
We have a studio upstairs. We can do.
Dr.
We can
Gallen, we're
invite
calling
everybody.
you.
Okay.
We're calling you to the station. We are calling you.
Join.
I'm
One
sorry.
of the two.
What'd you
can join the conversation or be the conversation.
There you go. I like Steven said, you can join the conversation or be the conversation. Hashtag. That is the hashtag for this show. Listen, I want to thank you all so much for not only listening, but participating tonight on Hot Talk. Never let it be said that we are not concerned about our communities and our children and making sure that they matriculate and they get the best that they can. So I hope that this show was a demonstration of that. And that, there is a space that we hopefully on our part two, we will be able to have some members of the administration of Carroll City High School to come and sit down, because just as they are caring and giving, so are my panelists tonight. I thank you so much for your time. I thank you for coming.
You.
I thank you all for listening. And I'm out.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you on Tuesday. Love you, mean it. Bye-bye.
It could be better. One more time. It could be the point of letting
Third time's a charm.
It could be the point of, it could be the point of letting go.
No catch-22s, point guard flow.
It's Hot Talk with Jill Tracey. Always live. Always local. Always entertaining and educating South Florida. Heard every Sunday night from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. The views and opinions expressed on Hot Talk, guests and callers, are not necessarily those of WHQT, Hot 105, or Cox Media Group.